Hello, hello. I am Coach Corey Sartori. I empower high-achieving female entrepreneurs to cultivate a growth mindset, get clarity on their goals, and create more balance and abundance in their life and business. So today I'm going to talk to you about manifestation. And my story of manifestation is long, so I'm going to give you some highlights. But I know that it is so powerful. I know that it works because I have been able to create the magical life that I have today through manifestation. So I was first introduced into manifestation back in 2012, before I ever started working on myself, before I ever started self-development. I watched the documentary, The Secret. And if you've seen it, you know it talks a lot about manifestation and visualization and things like that. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then the next year in 2013, I started my self-development journey. I began a vision and goals practice, which allowed me to begin to manifest things into my life. I eventually manifested my amazing husband into my life, my beautiful child, and so much more. And so that's a little bit of the highlight. So in 2021, March of 2021, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I knew that mindset was everything. I knew that I could make myself well through my mindset and through manifestation. And a couple weeks after being diagnosed, I watched a documentary called Heal. And I'd seen that documentary in the past, but it was a perfect time to remind me, like, you can heal your body through manifestation and visualization. And so as I went through my cancer treatments, I would visualize that I was healthy. My mantra was, I am healthy, happy, whole. And I would do this when I would go to Reiki appointments every other week. I would do this when I would go to acupuncture appointments. I would do this when I was going to chemo. And I know because I focused my mindset on believing and having faith that my body was healed, I was able to heal myself. By the time they took my cancer out, it was just specks of it were left. And yes, I did chemo, and yes, that helped, but they wanted me to do three different chemo medications for 6 months and get a port. And I told them no. I knew that I could heal my body. And so I only did 4 treatments with 2 medicines. And that was only 3 months worth of chemo. And I was able to get rid of almost all of my cancer. So that's the first thing with manifestation. So I shared with you guys yesterday, if you saw my post, that I was able to manifest becoming pregnant. And so that's kind of the story that I want to share with you today. So I started trying to have a baby in 2019 with my husband. My son at the time was maybe 2, almost 3. And he is just the light of our life. Maybe he was younger than that. But in 2019, I was like, okay, we're gonna start trying. And so we tried for a year with no luck. And my doctor was finally like, you need to go to a fertility doctor. And so around the end of 2020, I went to a fertility doctor, and he gave me all the meds. He gave me Clomid, he gave me Letrozole, and then he ended up giving me estrogen and progesterone. And a week after he gave me the estrogen and progesterone, a week after I actually stopped those meds, I found the lump in my breast. And so I wanted this baby, right? I knew, like, I wanted to have another little person in my life because I love my child so much. I'm so obsessed with Lincoln. He is the light of my life. And I knew that I wanted to have another baby. And so knowing that I was going to have to do chemotherapy, which, if you know anything about it, it can destroy your ovaries and all the good stuff inside. Chemo is not great. It kills cancer, but it kills a lot of other things as well. So before I went through my rounds of chemo, I did a round of IVF. And so we did the meds, we did all the medication, and then we went in and had eggs retrieved, and they were able to retrieve 3 eggs. And then they made embryos. So on a Thursday, I got a call saying, hey, everything looks good. Your embryos are, they're doing well. And then 4 days later, I got a call from my doctor telling me that none of my embryos lived. That phone call was more devastating to me than finding out I had cancer. Being told that there was not really a possibility for me to have another child was something I was not prepared to hear. And so that was the week of my birthday. It was the start of the week of my birthday. That was the week that they told me my embryos died. They told me they found a second tumor. They told me they wanted me to do 6 months of chemotherapy and get a port and do 3 different meds. And I said no. So, after going through my treatments, after having surgery, having my left breast removed, my hormones were all messed up. My body was all messed up. And so finally last May in 2022, I was able to again meet with my fertility doctor and find out if I was going to be able to have another baby. I was like, what are my chances? I really want to bring this child into the world. And so they did all the blood tests, and he called me and he told me, you have less than 5% chance of having another child on your own. If you want to have another baby, then you probably should do embryo adoption. And that's your best bet. It's probably not going to happen for you if you try on your own. And if you do embryo adoption, they take you through that whole cycle again of IVF with all of those meds and all of those hormones. And I was like, well, last time I was given a bunch of hormones, I ended up with breast cancer. I'm not doing that again. My husband and I had a conversation, and I'm like, I do not feel good about doing that. I don't want to put any more hormones in my body. My body's been messed with so much over the last year and a half. And so I made a decision last May. I was like, I am going to manifest this child. I want to have another baby. I don't care what it takes. I am going to bring this child into the world. And so because I had done a lot of research on manifestation, because I had already manifested, drawing my husband into my life and having a successful business and healing myself from cancer, I knew that I could make this baby happen for me. And so last May, probably the beginning of June, I started manifesting. So every night I would lay in my bed and I would visualize healthy eggs, healthy ovaries, healthy reproductive system. I would visualize a bright white healing light coming down and healing my body. And so I would do this every single night. I would visualize what it was like to be pregnant. I would visualize what it was like to hold that baby in my arms. I would visualize my family, and I would feel those feelings that went along with it. And so I would feel how it felt to have my baby, to have Lincoln be a big brother. And I did this for months and months and months. And about a month, maybe it was a month, maybe a month and a half before I actually found out I was pregnant, my husband was like, I don't think it's going to happen. And he's like, I know you don't want me to say that. I know you don't want me to put that out into the universe because you think it's negative and it's going to do something. But he's like, I don't think it's going to happen. And I was like, it's going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. And so I continued visualizing. I continued manifesting. I continued believing. And a part of manifestation is having full faith and belief that you can make anything happen, that you can create anything in your life. And so I continued to do my visualizations. I continued to do my manifestations. And I just remember one night I was like in the bath and I just was like, higher power, universe, please tell me, what do I need to do to make this baby come into my reality? And I just felt like in my body, it was like, you need to get an ovulation tracker. And I'm like, dude, I have done all the ovulation tests for the past 2.5, 3 years. Like, okay, I'm just going to trust this feeling. I'm going to trust this intuition and I'm going to do it. And so I got an ovulation tracker and not ovulating, not ovulating, not ovulating. And then it was the beginning of November. I took one of the tests and it said I was ovulating and I was like, what? No way. And so a couple weeks after that, I found out that I was pregnant, and it was like so overwhelming because I knew that this baby came into my life because I wasn't giving up, because my mindset was right, because I believed and I visualized and I manifested for months and months and months. It was like 6:30 in the morning. My husband works really early mornings, and I call him at work and he's like, I'm crying. And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm pregnant. He was blown away. So I want to share this story because manifestation is real. I was told I had less than 5% chance, and I chose to not believe it. I chose to have the faith that this little person was supposed to come into my life. And it didn't happen on my timeline. It didn't happen in 2019 when I started trying. It didn't happen in 2020 when I started doing fertility treatments. It happened when it was supposed to happen. And I know that I get to invite my little boy into my life in 5.5 months, into our family, because I didn't give up, because I believed, because I visualized, because I healed my body. You know, I'm 41 years old, so that has a lot to do with them saying you're not going to be able to have another baby. You know, your eggs are probably too old, and you've been through cancer, you've been through chemo. It's going to be really hard. It's probably not going to happen for you. And I did not take that for the answer. I knew it was going to happen. And so I hope that if anybody out there is struggling with something in life, or you want something, maybe that's more success in your business, maybe you want to manifest your perfect partner, you have to fully believe that it will happen. You have to let go of the negative self-talk. You have to let go of what other people think, because people will tell you, well, it's not going to happen for you. And know that you can create anything that you want in this life. And so I wanted to share my story. Manifestation is powerful. Having the belief, having the faith, seeing it, feeling it will help you create whatever you want. If you want to manifest more love in your life, if you want to manifest a more successful business, I can help you. I have been a coach since 2016. I help people not just with manifestation, but also with their mindset and also with their marketing. I have 4 spots open for my coaching program this month, and I would love to help you manifest the life and business of your dreams. So send me a DM right now with the word program to find out more. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hearing my story. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a beautiful day. I look forward to connecting soon.